Well, I hope you enjoyed our opening piece of music this morning. Our God Reigns. It's been many years, I have to say, since I last sung that with was then my congregation, and even on this channel of mine, I've never chosen it at all. So I hope you've enjoyed it, nevertheless. Welcome back to my weekly service with you. If you've just tuned in from time to time, I feel sort of force myself to say this, but you just tuned in. This is my mock-up recording studio around me here, and there's no organ pipes, there's no stained glass windows, just me in my kitchen. Regulars, of course, will be used to the backdrop. Anyway, it's all about our time of sharing God's word, and I've made sure that there's a nice vase of flowers, same colour of last week, because it's still the same flowers. They're lasting well. I can hardly believe this service actually began during COVID, which can be found now through a YouTube search. Namely, make sure it's YouTube search because it gets you there much quicker. And the name of my service is Reverend John Mitchell Online Worship. And you'll actually get the whole service there, because there's other ways into this where people just get some of my speaking parts and none of the prayers or hymns. So just keep that in mind. If there's anyone that you'd like to pass on the link to, that's YouTube, and then Reverend John Mitchell Online Worship. And you'll find you'll get a traditional service with hymns old and new and prayers with, well, maybe what the bonus is for you folks, a short sermon, which I hope you will enjoy. Let me officially say my good morning. My name is the Reverend John Mitchell, retired minister of the Church of Scotland. The world continues to show its darker side with threat, and of course there's counter threat. Fear and death continue with just no signs of let up. It's easy to be drawn into being pessimistic in life, with everything looking gloomy. You see no end to your burdens and accept that is the way life will be. Over my years in full-time ministry, I often came across this experience in other people where no matter what you said would be negated. You say one thing and the pessimist would say the opposite. The strange thing is, I often learn from this how to cope with life on a personal basis, where something happens which can turn your life upside down. And your reaction is to begin looking at life where you say, why does everything happen to me? This, and the spiral downward, of course, this bit by bit leads to a world of pessimism. There does seem to be several examples of biblical heroes who were natural pessimists, would you believe? You have Elijah, there's Moses, even Peter in the New Testament. But even if this is true, the good news is Christ can help us defeat pessimism and replace it with biblical optimism. So it's time once more to turn to God together and pray for joy and happiness, which takes us then to our first hymn, and a great hymn of praise. It's just a pity we couldn't be physically together to sing this, but I'll just imagine that we are. So the next hymn coming up for you is "Oh, for a Thousand Tongues to Sing."